You're not my dad!
We're back with more Casual Geographic on my channel, where it belongs. Hello, husband.
Why are you whispering?
I'm not?
We're back for more Casual Geographic on my channel. Is that how you talk when I'm not around?
I'm not. This is a completely normal volume level.
You have a weak voice.
What up, Hope Biscuits? It's your girl, Skitten, back at it again.
Sorry, I blocked out. What's up, Czechoslovakia? Back at it again.
The title,
for SkittenSlovakia.
The title of this video is Why These Fish Belong in a Horror Movie More Than Sharks. So anyway, recently I went to the aquarium in Atlanta.
Hey, wait a minute. I wasn't there for that.
Absolutely not. You were not. And at that aquarium, they have piranha, right? And it was so funny because the girls I was with was like, oh, those don't look like piranha. And I realized that like everybody has this image of piranha with like gigantic,
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big razor sharp teeth and like violent swimming. They're just like mad all the time.
First of all, piranha are little.
Yeah, they're little baby
They're
fish.
real small. They're not big.
That's how they fit inside the bodies of bigger fish to eat their insides.
God damn, babe.
They're small. Right.
I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe and sanitized.
Is this video about piranha?
I don't know. You
just
mentioned fish in horror movies, and I remembered that there is a horror movie including piranhas.
Yeah, I'm with that.
So
good guess. That's
just kind of what that made me think of. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Golly.
Oh! That's not a piranha.
You know, the greatest trick Hollywood ever pulled was convincing the world that sharks are the only things to fear in the water. There be monsters. In the last video, we talked about how sharks might just be the most misunderstood creatures in nature, with a PR team that works about as hard as a whiteout's brain after 6 rounds of CTE.
Hey man, you leave my boy out of this, all right? He put us on the map. He moved on. He may or may not have CTE. Also has a podcast.
Oh, I'm sure that's wild.
It's got like a play on the word CTE. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's him and another guy that definitely have some kind of brain something.
Yeah.
Maybe stress disorder, though, to be fair. And it's hilarious. But yeah, we also did that other one, James Toland video about sharks as well.
Yeah.
We went in on the sharks for like a week, dude. Yeah.
I love sharks. Like, not by me, right? Like, I don't want sharks anywhere by me. But like, when I see them in the aquarium, I'm like, oh man, look at that. It's so cool.
They've been done so dirty, they've actually overshadowed the other ichthyological insanity spawned from Satan's septic tank. These are 7 fish that should honestly terrify you more than any shark. This isn't really to substitute one fear for another, but I do think these fish could make a much more traumatizing, nightmare-inducing horror flick than Jaws. And it starts right here. Those eyes belong to a pair of arapaimas, also known as a pirarucu.
What eyes?
You've definitely seen them before.
What eyes?
These eyes.
Oh! Okay.
What did you think those were?
I didn't see them. I was just looking for eyes. I didn't see them.
What do you mean you didn't see them?
I didn't see them. I wasn't sure. Get off me.
Come here. We're just gonna.
Don't you spit on those. Keep your saliva off my goddamn glasses.
Nah. Okay, now let's put those back on and see.
I don't know what you did all this for. I don't know what you're doing this.
So you can see, because clearly your glasses are dirty.
I'm just asking a question. Jesus, persecuting the blind.
Does this video ring a bell?
What?
Definitely rang his. It's one of the big.
Fell asleep and died.
First of all, no, I've never seen that video. What are you talking about?
Why did nobody help him?
Video ring a bell?
Look,
Definitely rang.
They moved away. Go get him. They literally said, bro, he died. They ran away. They said they're killing people out here.
Oh my God.
It definitely
That's
rang
crazy.
his. It's one of the biggest freshwater middle fingers nature forgot to vault, usually growing to over 6 feet long and 200-something pounds. It's bad enough those are NBA point guard measurements, but the beefiest ones can get to 10 feet in length and weigh over 400 pounds. This Jurassic roid guppy usually eats other fish to go with fruits and seeds, but also birds.
And you're telling me you saw that thing down
This
there.
Jurassic
You're lying. You're lying to me. Where is it at? You don't see nothing down there.
He's right here.
Or yet,
hell
he usually
no,
eats
you don't
other
see
fish
that
to go
shit.
with fruits and seeds, but also birds and allegedly even monkeys sitting on branches too close to water. And if you don't believe that, it's because you haven't seen them hunt. They're explosively quick, and the aquatic black hole has been known to confuse feet for fish and violently pull people underwater.
Right.
One zookeeper reportedly made the mistake of trying to retrieve a glove that had fallen into an arapaima pool, and in a
Let it
split
die.
second got his hand, wrist, and several fingers broken. There's also the fact that a refrigerator-sized fish will yeet themselves out of water in self-defense. And let's talk about that defense. The plus-size bite jay is covered in heavily armored scales, not only tough enough to tank piranha attacks, locals historically use them as nail files. They've also used their tongues as scrapers, since these fish have teeth growing out of a bony tongue that can be used to effectively crush struggling prey against the roof of their mouths.
This thing is actually horrifying.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And, you know, it's a ha-ha, 7 deadly fish. This thing sucks.
Yeah, I don't like
Everything about this fish sucks. Sometimes the innocent have to be injured so the rest of us know not to fuck with it. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
You know nature got in its bag when it made a fish that can breathe air, and the Antichrist of the Amazon has a modified swim bladder that was repurposed as lungs, meaning this flex of a fish can survive 24 hours out of water. On one hand, that means they have to come up for...
Wow. He's up here for days.
Are you joking?
He's hanging out, chilling with the boys.
Of course it's in the Amazon too.
Right.
Like, of course.
You just see it laying up there like, oh, that fish is out of water. It's dead. Let's go poke it. He's like, I am very much alive.
Don't poke it.
Very much. I got 17 hours left. 17. That's that one guy that looks like all those other guys. That one actor looks like all those other actors. That's him.
I don't know who you're talking about. Are you talking about... Are you talking about Owen Wilson?
Yeah, Owen Wilson and the other 3 guys that could possibly be him. They all look the same to me. I don't know the difference, but there he is again.
Oh my god.
On one hand, that means they have to come up for air every 20 minutes or suffer the eternal shame of being a fish that finds a way to drown. But it also works out for them because in low oxygen water where most fish become slow and sluggish, the air merchant menace can pretty much go on a killing streak. Now the question is, could an arapaima pack up a person?
Shit.
While there's no indication they see us as a snack, there are old stories of high-strung assault guppies effectively drowning people, likely by knocking them unconscious and leaving them incapacitated underwater.
Hello?
Not him.
Hello?
We come back. My last thought was maybe it's just a bad scene. Maybe they were backing up to swing a large arc to go and get him. Maybe there are some tables I don't see. Maybe some steps they got to step up. And then we come back and he's still drowning. Go get him.
Are there attendants? Like, what's happening?
This has got to be unrelated clip, right? Just cut together to make it look like he's still drowning to death.
Drowning people.
There's no way.
Likely by knocking
Just
them
floating
unconscious
to
and
death.
leaving them incapacitated underwater. Not him. He's fine. You can unclench guidelines. He's good.
No,
The
he's
one
not.
man that
Okay.
almost was.
So it was just clip farming.
Yes.
Because the fact that they ran away was like, you need new friends.
Right.
Jesus. Good survival instincts or bad survival instincts?
Great
though?
survival instincts.
Right? Yeah, like he's dead. I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
That works.
Was Jeremy Wade. He probably needs no introduction, but long story short, he's a zoologist who hosted the show River Monsters, which ended, but only because he caught every fish nature had to offer. But he almost caught an early life retirement after a pissed off paima struck him square in the chest and nearly caused irreversible damage to his heart. Not only did this fish nearly have us singing,
Damn.
suspect wasn't more than 90 pounds. Remember, the overachievers can press the scales at 400 or, 180 kilograms worth of kill a man. So yeah, the arapaima is a shack-sized, air-breathing, armor-plated predatory vacuum, and strangely enough, it's not the fish I'm most scared of in the Amazon. But we'll get to that. The piranha actually isn't. If you remember from an earlier video, piranhas might be just as misunderstood as sharks. They're mostly just scavenging opportunists that our childhoods convinced us were way more of an issue. You cannot say the same for their cousins found in the Congo basin of Central Africa. The Goliath tigerfish can grow to nearly 5 feet long, over 100 pounds, and they're what people were told piranhas are times 10. They're in the same order, but where piranhas are primarily a swimming cleanup crew, tigerfish actively hunt for their bodies. And you'll find out, nature built this prehistoric problem to do exactly that.
I don't like it.
I know a guy with teeth like that.
That's fucked up. That's messed up. You did not have to say that. What if he sees this video?
I hope he does.
He's gonna know that you're talking about him.
I don't like you, so
Damn!
do what you will with that information.
What did he do?
Fork face.
Okay, apparently my husband has beef with some man with
on-
bad teeth.
It's on site, so it's fine.
Okay.
No, I mean, I am a grown man. It happens. You know, you don't like everybody. You know what I'm saying?
But everybody likes me.
He's a douchebag. He might be over it, but I'm not.
Sharp dagger-like teeth that many swear are comparable to that of a great white, although I personally see them as more conical, like a crocodile, which is a coincidence since the saltwater variety are their only natural predators. But of course, the swimming expletive has also been known to murk smaller crocs. They have eerily strong eyesight to track prey, special organs to detect the vibrations they make underwater, and they're strong enough to brute force their way through the turbulent waters of their hunting grounds. They're considered one of the toughest freshwater fish time left behind, and tigerfish are even on record snatching birds out of the air. Not just birds.
Is that real?
Time left behind, and tigerfish are even on record snatching birds out of the air. Not just birds.
What? Imagine a bird just doing bird things, hanging out, maybe going surfing. You know, birds just chill sometimes.
Right.
Bro, he's
Catching
like,
birds
it's a snack.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, not just birds, but
He had a
swallows.
family.
Some of the fastest and most maneuverable out there. Scientists studying them watched as 300 birds got permanently grounded by tigerfish in just over 2 weeks. They're so feared that in many places they're only known by one name, benga, meaning the dangerous fish. There's even a story of a young girl wearing a belt made out of bottle caps in order to ward off evil spirits. Ironically, it did the exact opposite and attracted a tigerfish who apparently confused the bottle caps for fish scales and nearly bisected the girl. Allegedly. It's an extremely fast, explosive vice grip with almost zero prey prejudice. And I'd still rather take a bite from them than the fish up next. And that's because next is the candiru. And a lot of y'all already know what we're going down. The candiru is a tiny parasite in the Amazon, also nicknamed the vampire fish for their habit of invading the gills of larger fish and scraping the insides to feed off their blood.
That's crazy.
Sometimes they swim upstream. What do you want from them?
And with backward-facing spines and a powerful bite, it's nearly impossible to shake it off before it completes its liquid transaction. The horror comes from the legend of candiru being attracted to the chemicals in urine and swimming up the urethra of unlucky humans and getting stuck up there. A fate that takes surgery to reverse. Imagine a serrated, sentient toothpick in your bathing suit business and you'll see why the violation with gills is so feared. But how much of this is even real? Most of the reports of people getting penetrated by peenfish are really sus at best. Apparently, they're not even attracted to the ammonia in human urine in the first place. There's a good chance that the candiru controversy came from European settlers coming home from long expeditions and telling these long, exaggerated stories to anyone who'd listen for status and attention.
That's what my uncle does.
Damn.
He's lonely.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically they were probably lying for clout. You have to remember.
Or they're just LeBron James.
You have to remember, the whole piranha skinning a cow thing spawned from locals staging an event to impress the president. The truth is, your chances of peeing in the Amazon and getting frontal probed by a fish are about as much as you getting meal prepped by a shark or getting struck by lightning. Oh, my bad.
So not zero. So what you're telling me is it's not zero.
That's the problem with this propaganda. But if you're really worried, just swim with a condom on.
Or just don't pee in the river.
There's no way they can defeat microplastics.
Just don't pee in the river.
It's a penis joke.
All right.
Wear a condom, microplastics?
Yes.
Because it's small.
Oh, my bad. And getting struck by lightning. That being said, I'd rather get tag teamed by the pets of Poseidon and the forces of Zeus than have a bloodluster up my urethra.
What is
frankly.
that?
If the
Now
What is that footage?
I've never seen that, but you just gave facts as your argument, but then you showed a damn good, what is the thing called? Diagram.
Oh my God.
Huh? I believe that.
If the odds ain't zero, they're just too high for me.
Exactly.
I'll happily take a candiru to the mandiru, then run into aquatic op number 4. In fact, I'm so afraid of it, I actually had to break my own rule for this video. The Humboldt squid obviously isn't a fish, but it's the closest thing to a living nightmare on this list. Let's be clear, at 5 feet, about 100 pounds, there are bigger squid. What sets Humboldts apart is they can hunt in packs of over 1,000.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's 3 zeros like a Tony Snell stat. Nicknamed Diablo Rojo, there are old fisherman tales of men falling overboard, getting swarmed, and never coming back up. There's also stories of them curiously approaching divers before flipping and trying to rip their masks off. But who needs stories when marine biologist Alex Kirstich can tell you about the time several homicidal squids grabbed him and attempted to drag him down into the dark maw of the ocean.
Just see what's up.
It gets worse when you realize what exactly happens when a red devil decides to take you to hell. Humboldts aren't just highly intelligent,
They were trying to take him to their overlord.
Meet the Squid Lord.
Yeah.
Meet the Squid Lord.
Yeah. It was actually a diplomatic mission. Okay,
Right.
he just didn't appreciate
We're looking for allies.
the privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
You speak to fish. We waved. You waved. Come to the depths, baby.
They were like, hey, come talk to our homie over here. He needs to talk to you about global warming.
And the whole face thing is they don't know what faces are.
Exactly.
What does a mask
See,
do a thing?
this is all just propaganda.
It's a big misunderstanding.
Okay? It's a big misunderstanding.
You think I'm trying to propagate the jihad with you? Of course not.
They're covered in tiny red chromatophores that they can use to rapidly change color in order to communicate with each other. It's like Morse code, but for Crip and calamari. We don't know exactly what it means, but there's a good chance if a Humboldt confronts you and starts violently flashing red, it could be telling a bunch of others you can't see that you're free eats. So likely the last thing you'll see is pulsing red before you get eaten alive. It doesn't help that satanic cephalopods are known for speed eating and are notorious for stripping fish to the bones faster than fishermen can reel them. Add a beak that can easily slice flesh and a bite force that can reportedly crack bone. And I think you see why I'm not exaggerating when I say I'll deal with every other fish on this list than a pack of predatory color-coordinated squid. Cool. And I don't care what logic says. There's no doubt in my mind this squid would eat a human if they thought they could. Why? Humboldt squid only live about a year. That rapid growth in a short time means they'll rarely pass up an easy meal, even if it's their own kind. Humboldts are highly cannibalistic, and they will not hesitate to turn on a weak or injured member of their own hunting party. There was a study done off the coast of Chile that found that out of over 2,000 squid, more than half held the remains of their own kind in their stomachs. It sounds to me that anything they see as weaker than them is something they can feed off, and the only saving grace for us is they usually only press things smaller than they are. But you don't even have to be seen as food for affiliated squids to be a problem. Like a true xenophobic, they react to most things they don't understand with aggression. They've even attacked cameras and equipment and left them out of order. But to me, the most disturbing aspect of getting assaulted by squids is, even if you escape, if you panic and surface too fast, you can get the bends and past tense anyway. That type of psychological horror is what puts the Humboldt here, and wouldn't you know, emotional damage is another symptom of finding out about the next fish.
He really just don't like the ocean, bro.
He really doesn't, bro.
He just really don't fuck with the ocean.
Kind of snuck in that last fact. It's like, squid fact, squid fact, squid fact. Also, being in the ocean is really fucking scary. So, be
like
terrified.
The bends ain't got shit to do with the fucking squid.
Join me in my... I hate these. I hate that shit. It's dark down there. What the fuck is down there?
I love it.
Because now we got the stonefish. Not one of, but the most venomous fish known to man. It's armed with verrucotoxin, and symptoms of getting stung include crippling pain, shock, tissue death, and even paralysis. And speaking of pain, you can be in agony for over 12 hours, and it's enough of an eternal jihad to cause hallucinations. Anecdotally, there have been tourists who've stepped on a stonefish only to beg their doctors to chop off the whole foot. Then there's the added threat of, if you don't get out of the water quick enough, it won't even be the venom. You can get paralyzed and catch a stage fatality to drowning. Even if you survive, you can still suffer permanent nerve damage and severe muscle atrophy. But that all wouldn't even be that bad if the stonefish wasn't nature's manifestation of a dick move. The most venomous animals on the planet usually dress with bright colors to warn the rest of the population that they're packing.
Let you know,
Stonefish decided to do exactly none of that and instead cosplays as a stone, only to mortally punish you for its camouflage working. Like I said, it's like having invisibility, but also serving the death penalty every time someone steps on your foot. Then you gotta add the fact that there are another fish that can survive 24 hours out of the water, and they have a literal switchblade growing out of their forehead. Yeah, I knew they were a problem ever since one nearly perma-napped Nigel Thornberry. A stone-cloaking toxic minefield of misery, but with stonefish anti-venom being the second most administered in Australia, today if you get stung, your chances of surviving are actually pretty good. Not like the next fish. For this one, there is no antidote. The stonefish might be the most venomous fish, but the pufferfish is arguably the most poisonous thing alive. Quick rule of thumb on the difference: if it bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you bite it and you become a wuzz, it's poisonous. And few things are more poisonous than puffer tetrodotoxin, which is 1,200 times more of a death sentence than cyanide. Tetrodotoxin interferes with signals between nerves and muscles, causing muscle paralysis and a total shutdown.
Yep.
And of course, the fugu blowfish is considered
Which is
a
so
delicacy.
crazy.
But if the
Why would, like, this is how I know that, like, human beings just have no sense of self-preservation, really.
But have you tasted danger? That's why catcalling is so popular. Never knows. Gun in her pocket, pepper spray. You gotta try it out.
Oh my God.
Eat that poisonous puffer, baby.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would, like, there's a lot of foods that don't make sense to me, right?
Okay.
Like Rocky Mountain oysters that don't make sense to me.
Right.
What the tacos that you always get and lengua.
Don't you start with balls, then go to tongue? Or do that.
I mean, keep it PG.
It's been a long day today,
But lengua, right? Doesn't
Delicious,
make
by the
sense
way.
to me. Why would you eat this?
You're
Why?
comparing it now to something I like, and I'm slightly interested now. You mean that chef is how good? All you gotta do is the same thing like running from a bear.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go first. That's it. Does somebody else try it out? Poke him. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
No second. You're fine.
It's also one of those things where I can't imagine getting like a discount version. Like, I'm going to the most expensive fucking Michelin-starred restaurant. I'm not about to go, oh, well, my friend said he found a Groupon. What the fuck?
Also, you don't go for the Grandmaster. You go like a couple tiers lower.
Okay, why?
Old. Like, he's been doing it for 50 years. Man,
yes.
It's too many years.
Okay.
I need somewhere in the prime.
His hands aren't shaking.
I need somebody in their prime.
Right.
Not post-prime.
Okay, all right.
In the cut.
Yeah, I can support that. No pun intended.
single cut, even by a little, you're instantly on the clock.
Yep.
You won't know that happened until your face goes numb and your lips and tongue get this weird prickling feeling. Then, you'd suddenly get a splitting headache and dizziness, vomiting and diarrhea as your body desperately tries to purge the poison. But it's already too late and you'd start getting paralyzed, starting with the hands and feet, but slowly spreading out. And by this point, you likely can't even call for help.
Yeah, it's
Finally,
over.
it'd get harder and harder to breathe until you notice the room slowly fade to black, leading to either a coma, seizure, or just death.
Jesus.
The permanent kind.
No joke.
Tetrodotoxin essentially flips a kill switch in your body, and there is no antidote.
It's so funny though because look how cute and goofy he looks. He's like, I kill you. I'ma kill you.
I asked for the joke and he said, just give me a second, I'm gonna play the clip. This angry kid. Bro, it's a death, it's a ticket straight to death. You goddamn right, bitch.
Permanent kind. Tetrodotoxin essentially flips a kill switch in your body, and there is no antidote. The only treatment is hooking you up to a respirator to breathe for you and praying it passes. The poison puffball is such a problem, it makes you forget they also have teeth that can bite clean through your finger. In fact, it's more than enough to violate a scorpion.
Oh, wow.
And I don't even know how to describe what they do to crabs, turning crustacean into crustacean with a smile, no less. It's criminal. There's nothing funny about getting caught in that bite, with reports of pufferfish mutilating the genitals of men, and one case in 2008 where a Cambodian...
How do you even get a pufferfish by your balls? What are you doing?
You got a turtle on your dick, son.
What the fuck?
child had his coin purse sliced in half by a pufferfish. And unlike the kangaroo, this ain't a myth. Have your privates out by a puffer and you might just get...
Bro.
So that's 6 of the sinister 7. But before we get to the...
That is probably the hardest thing to take serious on the entire... And I believe you. I believe you. God damn. Stop feeding me. Oh, God.
The Sinister 7. But before we get to the last one, we got honorable mentions. The fact that there's a fish that weaponized electricity enough to decommission a caiman and we just accept that is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and the thing is, it might not even be the voltage, but it's getting knocked out in shallow water that'll get you. Swordfish are one of the fastest things in the sea.
Swordfish.
They also have a built-in melee weapon equipped capable of inflicting life-altering harm. In 2015, a Hawaiian man was fatally struck in the chest while trying to catch one. Another man in Malaysia bled to death after a swordfish yeeted itself out of the water and also RNG'd him in the chest. Swordfish are also on record shanking sharks and even bleeding out sea turtles. The sheep's head fish. Really only because of that. Tripophobics be damned.
I hate them out.
The Titan triggerfish is a highly aggressive honey badger with gills capable of dishing out severe injuries with the same teeth they use for crunching coral, sea urchins, and even a crown of thorns starfish. The trigger might as well be named after their temper, and this 1.5-foot vibe check is a big reason why beginner divers never go back in the water. Speaking of big, the Goliath grouper. At 8 feet up to 800 pounds, the fish the size of a small car feels more like a leftover Jurassic prop. Lucky for us, most divers describe it as a gentle giant with the temperament of a Saint Bernard. Although a Saint Bernard didn't allegedly swallow an entire kid in the Florida Keys.
Nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, go save that baby. Left hook, left hook, right hook. Left hook, right hook, left hand, right hand. Save that baby. Go save that child, Skitten. Get him.
Get out of here.
The third round has just been a very defensive battle by the guppy. The child is still in the tunnel. We haven't made any progress heading to the championship rounds.
But since we're on the subject, the last fish on this list are catfish. And yeah, it's kind of cheating. There's over 3,000 species of catfish, even including the genital jihad, the candiru. Catfish are like the trash compactors of the fish family, which isn't a problem until you see just how big they can really get. And once a catfish gets big enough, there aren't a lot of things alive they won't try to eat. We've seen armadillos, turtles, and even unaware seagulls get bored by a catfish. There's a species in France that figured out how to stalk and hunt bathing city pigeons. Another learned to wait by cave entrances to suck up any exhausted bats that fall in. There was even a catfish named Kuno the Killer who terrorized a German lake and somehow caught and ate someone's dog. Basically, they're all the shit I've talked about pelicans being, just in fish form. The question is, if a catfish has ever eaten a live human, and it isn't even if they would, but if they could. The Wells catfish can grow to 10 feet long and cap out at 300 pounds. The Macomb catfish
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. 10 feet.
Repeat that. Just hold on.
The Wells catfish can grow to 10 feet long and cap out at 300 pounds.
Shit.
Where do I find them? I just need to know so I know to never. You don't have to worry about me one bit. Okay, I would just like to be clear. Okay, so just to be clear, I already do not like to go in natural waters.
What about creeks?
No.
The creek was great.
No.
It's clear. You can see all the way to the bottom. You can skip rocks. Little crawfish.
You will never see me in the water. Okay? I don't like rivers. I don't like lakes. I don't like creeks. I don't like ponds. I tolerate oceans. Okay?
What about rivers?
I just said I don't like rivers.
What about ponds?
You don't ever have to worry about me. And shit like this is why. Shit like this is why. Because what do you mean 10 feet?
300 pounds.
That's 2 of me. Dose.
The Wells catfish can grow to 10 feet long and cap out at 300 pounds. The Macomb catfish can also get to 10 feet, and the heaviest one ever recorded was pushing 650 pounds.
That is
if there's a catfish that could stomach a human, it should be one of these, but there's a slightly smaller catfish that was believed to be a legit man-eater. In the late 90s and early 2000s, a series of fatal attacks on people in the Gully River had people convinced there was something in the water hunting humans. In these attacks, victims were suddenly pulled underwater in front of people, only for their bodies to never be recovered. In 2007, Atal Kumar was swimming with friends when he was violently dragged underwater, and while he was never seen again, friends caught a glimpse of something that they could only describe as an elongated pig. Crocs and bull sharks were considered, but the prime suspect ended up being the goonch. Catfish. At about over 6 feet, 200 pounds.
The gooch.
The goonch, I think is what he said.
But the prime suspect ended up being the goonch. At about over.
There is a little N there.
Yeah,
I was
it's
concerned.
one of the most important N's I've ever seen in a word. The goonch, actually. It's right between the ass. Aztecs straight. You know the Aztecs
Over
straight.
6 feet, 200 pounds, the goonch is usually smaller than the whales or the magong.
Wow.
But it's feared that the practice of burning funeral pyres by the river led to the equal opportunists developing a taste for human flesh.
Yeah.
And while it's a stretch to say a corpse-happy catfish could swallow an adult, it becomes a little less believable with children. There's no solid proof of a catfish catching a person, but they for sure can off one. The biggest ones can easily overpower you, if not just knock you out and drown you. Not to mention a majority are venomous, with those spines putting both experienced fishermen and oblivious bystanders in the hospital. They also have a nasty sandpaper-like bite that can easily draw blood. But what really makes them a living horror movie is their intelligence. The ones packing up pigeons, they weren't always doing that, but they pretty much ate everything else around them and were forced to adjust.
Sneaking up on it.
So it's anyone's guess what could happen if they gain a taste for humans. And with catfish being swimming tongues with over 175,000 taste buds across their bodies, yeah, I doubt acquiring taste takes long. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, try not to get catfished out here. If you'd like to see me swim with slightly less freaky fish, the full GoPro footage of me in Hawaii will be uploaded to my Patreon. And with that last second self-promo out the way, I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Hell yeah, man.
What the fuck?
Is that an otter?
My love, that is clearly a catfish.
Blowing her bubbles.
Why are you bathing with a catfish?
He's kissing it.
Okay.
All right,
guys. People will make pets out of anything. Also, that reminds me of that guy who has an eel pit in his basement.
Oh man, what a hilarious video that is. Though.
Oh,
that shit's great.
That shit's nuts. If you've never seen it, go on TikTok and look him up. It's crazy.
I have seen some crazy, wild things in my time alive that I'm just so thankful the internet's been able to bring me.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Casual Geographic for just continuing that. This was actually a great video.
I enjoyed
7 deadly fishes.
This has simply solidified my resolve to never step foot in any natural water, okay? It's strictly pools for me, you know, and I've always lived my life that way, obviously, because I live in Vegas, and that's how I would prefer to keep it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your reaction requests and recommendations down in the comments below. And other than that, peace out, Hope Biscuits. It's Skittenlit.